Hello, 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 friend. Welcome to day 7. Oh, excuse me. I'm trying to go live on Instagram as well. Welcome. Come on in. Say hello. Let me know what's going on with you today. It's hump day. So let me know in the chat. If you are joining me for the first time, drop a 1 in the chat. If you like, hey, I've been here for the last 6 days. I'm ready for day 7. Then welcome, welcome, welcome. And let me know where you're joining me from. I'm here on LinkedIn. I don't know why I'm saying LinkedIn because I'm also on LinkedIn for my leadership business. But I'm over here on Instagram at SMM Realty Group. And also I'm on YouTube at SMM Realty Group. Yesterday I said Mac Leadership Academy. So if you're like, what the heck? That's my leadership side of my business. So you want to be at SMM Realty Group, friend. Okay, welcome. Happy Hump Day. Hopefully you're having an amazing day. Today was like getting the kids out. If you're a parent, you definitely it was one of those mornings. But it was a great day overall. Worked out. So I just want to kind of connect with you all before I get started today. But welcome in, drop in the chat where you're joining me from. And today I want to talk about, should you rent or buy? Okay. And as a first time home buyer, you may be in this phase of like, okay, should I continue to rent? Should I continue to rent, or should I just go ahead and make the decision and move forward and invest in my first home? Okay. So welcome to my live. I am Shevvy Mac, and I am the founder of SMM Realty Group, but I'm a realtor with KW Montgomery here in Montgomery, Alabama, and I support you in your search for a home, or if you're looking to sell a home in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. And if you are a military member, relocating from out of state to here to Maxwell Air Force Base, or if you're PCSing, then definitely reach out to me. I would love to serve you because I definitely understand the challenges that comes with moving with kids and the family and trying to find a great community, great school for your kids and make it, feel like home for the next 2 to 4 years that you're there. So definitely reach out and I will be happy to support you as your realtor. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm going to get started, but as you all come in, just drop in the chat where you're joining from. But yeah, so should you rent or buy? Okay. And this is, something that you might be, you're probably pondering about, for a while as a first time home buyer. Like I've shared, about my sister, one of my sisters, she's been, looking at buying, but she's still renting because she's like looking at, back and forth, like she's playing that tug of war with herself. Like, should I buy now? Should I continue to rent? Should I renew this lease? So you might be in the same situation as a person who is looking to purchase their first home. And I'm just going to share some insight on, to help you kind of make that decision for yourself, because everyone gets to decide the decision that's best going to serve them, and dependent on your finances, dependent on your needs, dependent on your desires. So when it comes to purchasing, renting or buying, first you have to look at, okay, how long have I been renting? Like really look at, okay, how long have I been renting? Because I was a renter before I purchased my first home, and I was renting for years. And finally, I made the decision in 2010 to like, okay, I want to purchase a home. And then when I look back at, my time in the military, and looking back, I'm like, man, I should have purchased a home, back in 2002, when I first got to my first base. And looking back now, because I'm more aware, I'm more educated, but I highly, recommend, as of someone who's thinking about purchasing a home, looking at, okay, how long have I been renting? And what is the cost for that rent that I'm paying every month? So for example, if you're in a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment, or maybe you're renting a home that has maybe 3-bedroom because you have a family, and you've been considering purchasing your first home, and look at, okay, how many years have I been renting? And what if I did, made that decision to say, okay, instead of renting, let me go ahead and invest in my first home. So for example, if you're paying $1,500 a month, because a lot of people think, well, I prefer to just rent because I don't want to deal with a mortgage. Okay, let's look at the reality here. You're renting, you still have to pay someone. You still have to pay the landlord, okay? With a home, you got to pay the bank. So in one situation, you're paying the landlord monthly. In another situation, you are paying the bank monthly. So you have rent and you have a mortgage. So look at, okay, I've been in this apartment or this home for the last X years, and I've been paying my rent for X years, but every year, my landlord, the price is increasing by $50, $100. So maybe you started off at $900, but you've been in this apartment or home for the last 5 years. And within the last 5 years, you went from 900 to now $1,300, which can be your mortgage, depending on the type of house that you purchase. So you really have to looking at the numbers, because when you look at your numbers of renting and buying a home, you're going to see a difference. And I know a lot of people think, well, renting is easier. Yes, it is easier in the sense of you don't want a lot of responsibility, because if there's a maintenance, then you can call the landlord and say, hey, this is what's broken, and they'll fix it. But all of that is in your costs for rent. And that's why each year, depending on the company, they will increase that amount from where you started. So really look at the big picture of, okay, I started here, but I've been in this location for the last X years, and my rent has increased to $500. So I'm now paying close to $2,000. And that could be something that you pay in mortgage. One thing about renting is, okay, you don't have any maintenance, no yard maintenance, none of those things. But when you have your own home, you have to maintain your home. So just think of like your car. You purchased a car, but you still got to maintain it. Same thing with your house. You bought a house, you still got to maintain it. You still got to pay the mortgage. You still got to make sure you pay your utilities, because even in an apartment, you still got to pay utilities. Depending on the apartment, sometimes they'll include that in the package, but you're still paying for that based on the rent amount. So if it's not included, you still got to pay for water. You still got to pay for electricity. You still got to pay for gas. You still got to pay for your cable bill, your internet bill, your Wi-Fi bill. So look at those numbers and really think, do I want to continue to stay in this apartment and rent, or this home and rent and pay someone else's mortgage? Or do I want to invest in myself and purchase this home that I get to do what I want with it, that I get to repaint, I get to maintain, I get to decorate it how I choose to, but still have something that I can call my own? Because if you look at it, the bills are very similar. It's just one you're paying to the bank and one you're paying to a landlord. So if you are in the market and you're being thinking about it, just like I tell my sisters, like, how much longer are you willing to continue to rent? Because if you keep saying, hey, I'm going to purchase my home, how long have you been telling yourself that same statement over and over again? I was there before, like, oh, I want to buy, but it's like, oh, renting is easy. But I finally made the decision, and it was one of the best decisions for me. Even now, as I move forward into my real estate business, I'm going to be investing in other properties. I'm going to be investing in purchasing new homes and so forth. So doesn't have to be a new home, but a home. So definitely, as you are thinking about it and you want to purchase a home, but you're just afraid of the responsibility, I really want you to think about, okay, if I do move forward and say, yes, I get a realtor and I want to purchase this home, like, what is the worst that can happen? One thing I will say with purchasing your home, with the taxes, the annual taxes on your home, that can increase or decrease depending on your county. So that's the only thing. But again, if you are looking at your expenses, you can see, like, okay, can I afford this? And that's why I always talk about making sure that you can afford a home that is within your budget. Because even though you're approved for $300,000, doesn't mean you have to spend $300,000 on a specific home. Okay. So always keep in mind, because sometimes we feel like renting is a safety net and then buying a home is a risk. It's the same. You're taking a risk with renting. You're also taking a risk with investing. But for me, I rather take a risk in purchasing a home that I can call my own. Because with the renting, guess what? They can say, okay, well, we're not going to renew your lease. Now you got to find a whole new place to live, or we're going to increase the price, by $150 this year. So you have to look at the pros and cons of, do I want to continue to rent for the next year or 2 years, or do I want to go ahead and make the decision in the next 30 days and move forward to purchase my first home. Okay. So I want to just kind of share that insight, because even, for example, a potential client, like for example, I go get a massage monthly. And when I talk to the massage individual, they share that, hey, they're looking to purchase a home, they're being renting, but they're ready to kind of do something different, which is to invest in their first home. But I can see that they're unsure, and they're considering, okay, should we renew the lease for another year, or another 6 months? And for me, like I always tell the individual, like, you have to decide what's best for you. But if I were you, I would make the call to say, hey, do I financially have the resources to invest in my first home? And honestly, most individuals do. It's just that we in our heads think that we don't, because we're so used to just paying somebody else to just kind of pay the rent. Because when we pay the rent, we're like, okay, check, that's it. But you still have all the different responsibility with being in a rental property. You still got to obey their rules. You got to make sure that if you leave the rental property, you got to fix up whatever needs to be fixed. You got to repaint if you repaint it. But when you have your own home, you get to do what you want to do. Okay, so let me know in the comment if you're like, hey, I'm renting, and also I'm really considering, like, maybe it's time for me to move forward and invest in myself and invest in my first home. If that is you, then I invite you to reach out to me. You can click the link in my bio to book a free consultation call, or you can just send me a message if you have any questions or anything that you would like to discuss based on what's going on in the market. Definitely reach out to me. I will love to support you and serve you when it comes to your real estate needs. All right, y'all. Well, happy Wednesday. I am Shevvy, your realtor here in Montgomery, Alabama, and I am part of the KW Montgomery office here, and I support you in buying and selling your home in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. And if you are PCSing, which just means if you're transitioning from out of state because of military, or you're going, or you're leaving the state of Alabama and you're looking to sell your home, then definitely reach out to me, because I would love to serve you as well. Because as a veteran, I definitely understand the importance of finding community to where you are PCSing or transitioning to with your family or yourself. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And this is day 7 of my full month of live. So I will be here tomorrow. And again, I'm coming at different times, but if you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat, or you can just reach out to me directly. Okay. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow.